Hello, welcome to another live session here for Earthworks Hub. It is Sunday the 17th of November. I can see a whole bunch of people joining. Fine Line Excavations, thank you for joining. Tilney's Earthworks, Jenna, Troy, Terrapro, Terrapro, I hope you notice. Terrapro, Concept Concrete, Mudgust, Nexgen, Civil, Benjamin, Damien Lamb, and a fair few people. Gary, not Harry. And on TikTok, we have Charlie Gabor, who has already been giving me heaps and heaps of likes. So thank you very much, Charlie, and everybody else that's on TikTok. Jack Healy has joined, ADM Civil. Everybody is here. I love it. I love it. And I've actually started on time. It's 8:01. Earthworks Hub, the only hub that you should be watching, the only hub that your missus will want you to be watching. Thank you once again for joining me, guys. Sunday, 17th of November. I am going to have a guest on here tonight, and that guest has already popped up on the screen, so there's a bit of a hint for you. And that guest might actually be someone that I am wearing something for at the moment. So Ashton Lavering's here as well. Gosh, we got everyone. Doug Sparks, Zach's Diesel. Today I do have a guest coming on, and that is Shane from Terrapro. Appropriately, I am wearing his hat. Let me just invite him in 1 second before I continue. All right, here we go. I see you some movement.
Hey mate.
How you going?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, very good, man. Very good. I've got.
Couldn't find the bloody tripod, so I'm running around.
Oh, it's like.
I got it.
Do you get like a stack of books? I tell everyone, just get a stack of books or something on your desk here.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you for joining, man. We've got Shane from Terrapro. What do you reckon, Shane? You like the hat or what? You like
I do. I don't even have mine tonight. I'm whippersnippering and got covered in gunk.
Oh, did you just say whippersnipping? Did you? You know,
Yeah.
My last episode with the guys from the UK, they absolutely gave it to me. I don't know if you've seen that one, but I did the boys from the UK, Chris, the dozer trainer, and Maddie Agridig.
Yeah.
Halfway through my podcast with them, I heard somebody whippersnipping out the front, and it came through on the recording, and I said to them, "I'm sorry, guys, there's somebody using a whippersnipper," and they cracked up laughing. They're like, "A what? A whippersnipper?"
Oh, what are they
And
call, like a trimmer or an edger or something?
a streamer,
Trimmer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they, you'll see if you look at that podcast, they gave it to me, man. It was good fun, that one. So there you go. But whippersnipper, that's the right word for it, isn't it?
I think, yeah, why not? Whippersnipper, like trimmer? I don't know.
That's it. Oh, HPT has joined as well. HPT Excavations. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I call it a whippersnipper. Some people call it an edger. I don't know. Everyone's got different terms.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, look, I'm glad you could join us. I know last week you fell a little bit ill. Yeah.
So I was bloody crook, let me tell you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How do you feel now, man? Is everything all right?
Good. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think by Thursday I was come good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But back to normal now, which is
yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's it. ADM Civil's calling you the big rig. And HPT saying a line trimmer. That's the other word I've heard. A line trimmer.
Oh yeah, line trimmer, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I suppose what's a streamer? They might be like a stripper and trimmer together. I don't know. What's a stripper?
Yeah. We're talking about strippers on Earthworks.
Yeah. Oh well, it is the hub. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Jenna Troy saying I call it the worst part of the weekend. Exactly right. Exactly right.
That's good. It makes everything look fresh.
Yeah, it does. I actually, in the house, one of our other houses, we put no grass in there. I was like, that's it. I'm not having any lawn. But I had a little bit on the nature strip, and I actually enjoyed going out and having a beer and just doing the grass, just a little section.
Oh, it's my paradise, mate. It's where I go to just catch my breath and have a bit of me time, just walk around, look at the grass.
Oh, you have to, man. There's something to get away from everyone and just quietly just do that, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's good. But at least you're better now. Everything is good, yeah?
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, I was a bit the same, man. It's funny you mentioned that and Stewie's joined. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Stewie, welcome as well. I was a bit sick. I was a bit sick myself, man. The last 2 weeks, I was really, really off. Like I had a massive stomach pain, in the lower ab area. And it wasn't until I saw Jack Healy at the Case Dig Day, he scared me a bit. He's like, "Oh, I had my appendix out recently, and it was the same pain." So I was like, "That's it, man. I'm going in." So I went in and had scans, blood tests, but it all came back clear. So they gave me antibiotics. I reckon it could have been a bug virus. I don't know. I'm feeling better now too. So I hear you, man.
I listened to the episode. I did hear it the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you having a bit of a dig.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
No, but look, at least it's all worked out for both of us, man. That's good.
That's it.
So, before we go on with the program, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Did you watch the fight, or do you even know about?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
No.
No. I can't. It's not. I don't buy into it. If it was like a professional, like MMA or a professional boxing, I'd be about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just knew it was going to be a shit show. So
yeah, I'm keen to hear everyone's opinions, man. So everyone on here, let me know your opinions on that fight, because I'm the same. To me, it's like a bit of a crock, a bit of a showbiz thing.
Yeah,
but
it's good. Like it's like, I love branding and marketing. I'm like, it makes sense. You know, they're just raising awareness and getting everyone hyped up, and then put on a show and a heap of money.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Yeah.
And like Jenna Troy saying the same thing. It was disappointing. It was a little bit. I'll have to admit, I feel like, because I watched it, and I wasn't planning on watching it. It just happened so that it was that time, and we flicked Netflix on, and it was there. And my kids were really keen to see it too. We watched it, and I don't know. I feel like Tyson looked like he was a bit out of it, like he didn't know where he was, and got tired quick. And I think Jake Paul picked up on that, but wanted the show to go on a bit longer and sort of let him go a bit. I think he could have went a bit harder, but sort of held back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. I just I look at I saw some of the training stuff for Tyson. I'm like, if that dude hit you, you'd be feeling it for 3 weeks.
Well, that's why. And Jenna Troy's saying that right now. He was biting his glove all the time. He kept really biting down on his glove every second. Yeah. And some people are saying he might have been doing that to try and hold back from really going hard.
Yeah.
But then other people are saying it might be just like a mental thing, like he wasn't all there sort of thing. So he's just biting, and I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, interesting to see a lot of different opinions on the internet today, man. Everyone's like, it's rigged, it's not rigged. And it was just...
Glad I wasn't in the bloody ring with it, that's for sure. Yeah. Either one of them,
Either one, man. Either one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough about the I suppose the Netflix show. I went to get CT scans. That's all clear, so I'm all good. You're all good. We're back to normal.
Fantastic.
What I was going to say, people are buying merch, so I just want to talk about the merch here. If anyone hasn't bought some, make sure you go in and buy it and post it up when you do get it, to let other people know what it looks like. It's all good quality stuff too, man. It's not like cheap crap. So everything that comes is actually really good. So I
was scrambling around when I saw you start. I was like, I should be putting your shirt on. it's all upstairs. I'm underneath my house at the moment.
Yeah, all good, man. All good. That's the salon that you're in, is it?
Yeah, it's the salon I built. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. I like the background, man.
Yeah, I'll give you a little
give us a tour, man. Give us a tour.
This is my wife's salon.
Oh.
It still needs a bit of zhuzhing.
Yeah.
This is a fancy curve. There's a curve there,
mm-hmm.
And there's an arch into another room which has got a fully functioning kitchenette and ensuite and stuff.
Awesome. So what does she actually do? Is it beauty therapy or hairdressing?
Yeah.
Or what is it?
Yeah. So she's a blonde specialist, colour specialist.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh, there you go, man.
She's been doing it for 17 years or something. And when we got together, I kind of saw that she was pretty good at what she did. I'm like, hold on a minute, you should probably do this for yourself.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey with her business, and this is technically her third shop now. She had a small one and then a big one, and then we're back to kind of keeping it small again. So yeah, it's good.
That's it, man. Sounds like a lot of us in the industry. I had this chat with HPT this week. For anyone that hasn't seen it, today I released a new episode, so another podcast, and that was with Harry from HPT Excavations. And it's the same thing, and Harry's done the same thing as well, expanded and then went back to just himself again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like knowing when to pivot. It's like being able to see an opportunity, or if you want to back off on stress, or if you want to push harder. Like there's always an opportunity to change, or like side shift or whatever.
Yeah.
But not being afraid to do it is the exciting part.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. We touched on it a little bit with Alex last week, and I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about how you bought that new truck and how it came about,
Yeah.
and then the reason why you pivoted and decided to change and change your truck and that, so other people can learn from that too and see
Yeah,
it.
of course.
So let's talk about that. First, I just want to do a quick shout out to all my sponsors, and I did see one of them just joined. So a quick shout out to all the sponsors, MOBA being one of them. So thanks for joining tonight as well. Network Finance, the Bole Group, Melbourne Tractors, Spartan Machinery, Nexgen Landscapes, JR Safety Co, Digga, Godings, and Earthmoving Warehouse, and now Too Savage and Hard Hat Watches, and Telesin as well. I forgot about Telesin. So there's a few there now.
It's popping off.
Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna have to have one of those Star Wars intros where it just rattles off all the names.
Yeah, true, man, true. Yeah, I'll have to make one where it just comes up by itself, because it's just too hard. It's getting too hard to mention them all. I've got to write a whole list in front of me always. Well, let's talk about that. So tell me what happened with your truck. So last week or a few weeks ago, you bought a new truck, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us how
it
came about. Yeah.
Yeah, so it came about just by like obviously being in industry and like a solo operator. I don't have that much to worry about as far as like I'm not worried about staff and things. So I'm always looking at ways to like, is there an opportunity to either buy it? Are attachments going cheap? Like I'm always on Facebook Marketplace or constructionsales.com.au. Just always just keeping a finger on the pulse for what things are going for or what they're worth. My goal is to end up with a 5-tonner and a posse. And at the time, my Hino 500 single axle. Just looking into the future, knowing that truck can like on paper it can do it, but given that it was such a nice truck, I didn't want to kind of get to the next level, start towing a trailer and adding extra weight every day and ruining what is a really nice truck by straining it, So that kind of kept me looking at what trucks are going for and what the market's doing. And then also I had really high finance. So now that I'm a few years into my business and things are kind of steady, I started looking into ways I can, is there anything I could be re-looking into, kind of like a bit of a self-audit, which I'd like to do annually, or every financial year. And this is the first time where I've actually sat down and gone over my figures, my finances, where I'm at, what I'm trying to achieve next, and just kind of go over everything. And given that when I first started, I had no backing with my ABN, so finance was doable, but I had to pay extremely high interest. So I think at the time that when I got the truck, I'd only had an ABN for 3 months or 6 months or something. So my finance was 13.7% interest.
Wow. Yeah.
And so it wasn't, I didn't finance like an outrageous amount. It was around 80 grand or something like that, maybe a bit less. Actually, it was less. So given the figures, just looking at it on paper, just the interest was costing me, call it 8 grand a year to own this truck on top of my payments. So given that I was a few years in, I could get a better interest rate. So I was starting to look at that and what I could get, and it was around anywhere from 7 to 9%. And it just so happened that the market was demanding really high dollars for that style of truck, a single axle, that was 9.4 or 9.6 ton capacity.
Yep.
And it was, it was a reliable, great truck. So I managed to that on, well, I didn't even put it on the market. I half-assedly put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then
I think I remember seeing that when you posted it up saying your truck for sale, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a full-size tandem that I was interested in. This beautiful Mack Fleetliner that was forest green with a trailer, and it was a nice round figure package, looking around 100 grand. And I was like, okay, so you know, I'll just throw mine out there and see if anyone nibbles. And then nothing really happened. There's a few guys that were interested, you know, oh, in 6 months, like if it's still up, I'll be good to go. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'll let you know if I'm not in a rush. It was just more of if the time was right. And then the day that someone contacted me, and I must actually give a shout out to Alex. Is his on point?
Oh.
Yeah, Alex Quinn.
Yeah.
I can't remember his. There's two that I get confused between On Point Excavation and On Top Excavation.
Yeah,
I must say, someone was looking and he gave me a shout out on a Facebook post. And sure enough, the next day I had a DM and bloke was like, "Hey mate, want to buy a truck? Can I pick it up tomorrow?"
Holy shit!
And I was like, "Oh God, okay." And that got the ball rolling, and I went to my finance guy, which is Julian from Quantum Finance. He's pretty well known in our industry. I said, you know, you see his posts, and there's him and I think it's his sister as well. They're pretty popular.
Yeah.
He looked after me with my first truck as far as like, sure, my interest was high. I get that, but you know, it was a breeze to get. Like it wasn't. I just, you know, said, hey, I need this. Can you get it for me? Done. You know, unfortunately, the interest is high because you've got no backing. You know, we can always look at it later.
Yeah, and that is a common thing. Yeah, so that's something that when people start out, they have to realize that without a couple of years of income, you're not going to be able to get much. The banks aren't going to even look at you sometimes. So
yeah, well, they want to see 12 months to 2 years on an ABN or, you know, or an ACN or whatever. You need to kind of have some proof. And I think it's as simple as just time. I don't think it's about what you've earned on the ABN. I think they just want to see that you've held it.
Yeah.
So if it is something you're interested in doing, going out on your own, get an ABN as fast as possible because it will limit you on your ability to either finance or whatever. Again, it came down to just I was comfortable with it. You know, for me, it wasn't going to break the bank too bad. And I needed it at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like the ball got rolling, called up Julian. I was like, shit, you know, where do I stand with, you know, I didn't know how to go about it. I'm like, do I wait to sell this truck? Do I risk buying a second truck and the sale falls through and I'm stuck with two?
Yeah.
But serious buyer, spoke to him. He was like dead set on it. And I was at the right time where I wasn't using the truck regularly. So pulled the trigger and hence speaking to Alex, wanted a Hino, like I liked the Hinos. I actually wanted a Mack CH, like Fleetliner or possibly even a Metroliner, a twin steer.
Yep.
But just the price that they were going for secondhand, especially in Melbourne, Victoria is like demanding such high prices for like, you know, 2006 to 2008 kind of gear.
Yeah.
And then after learning a bit more about you know, I went deep dive. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I go all in. Learning about finance. So for people that might not be aware, when you finance equipment, especially trucks, from what I've learned, they want the longest term that they'll comfortably lend without high interest rates is the vehicle needs to be less than anywhere from 15 to 20 years is preferable at the end of your term.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a 2010 truck and you're going to lease it for 5 years, well then from now, you know, you're looking at 2030. So it'll be 20 years old at the end of your term. Therefore, your interest rates might be higher. So there is a sweet spot where people selling know that and know that finance is hard to get for someone wanting to buy. so the price might come down. And yeah, I started looking, saw a couple of Hinos that I could afford that were less than a older Mac.
Yeah.
And called Alex because I was like, hey, hold on, he's got a Hino, I'll speak to him.
Yeah. So now we're talking about Alex from ADM, yeah?
ADM,
Yeah.
Alex from ADM.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's it. Yeah.
And by the way, my Siri calls him Admiral because it's got him as ADM. So it says Admiral.
Admiral Civil, you might like that,
yeah, he does. He loves it. So I just started chatting to him, found a couple in South Australia that were almost exact swap for what my truck was getting on the market and what that age kind of truck was demanding, about to hit the outside of that 25-year finance mark.
Yeah.
And then talking to Alex, what are the Hinos like? What are, here's his roadranger. These were autos, and they were a little bit rough around the edges. And he picked up on a few things because I sent him a few links saying, "Hey, what do you think of this one?" Yeah. Straight away, he was like, "Oh, this one's got a bit of a funny switch panel. It looks like it might have been a spray truck. Keep an eye out for rust." So really cool advice that I wouldn't pick up on. Like, I'm not a big truck kind of enthusiast.
It's good that people. It's good to know that someone is willing to put a bit of time in and help out. That's good. So thank you to Alex as well. Yeah. Thank you for that.
And and again, just like-minded people coming together through Earthworks Hub. So,
there you go. There you go.
Was great just to ask some opinions with him, and then sure enough, like I was ready to pull the trigger on one, and I saw this other one. I think I'd actually posted on a Facebook group that I was, motivated buyer, needed a truck because mine's sold. Yeah. And I was like, motivated buyer, I found one, thanks guys, all good. And like an hour later, this dude posted, and I saw the truck, and I was like, I'll ask the question. And it turns out it was like 2 suburbs away from bloody where Alex ADM Civil was.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah.
Straight back on the phone, hey mate, do you know this company? What do you think? He's like, I know the trucks, I see them, like I know the company. They're always really clean, things like that. So he actually gave me a contact for a mechanic, and I contacted the guy and said, hey, I'll have a mechanic there tomorrow. Bear with me. And just by doing that, literally secured the deal because he had about 50 people try and buy it after me. So
yeah.
And it was a bloody good deal.
Good. Just to clarify to people, so you sold your single axle and you were looking for a bogey or tandem. Yeah.
Right. And the reason being is just finances. So it was a good opportunity for me to lower my interest rates, given that the truck was my highest interest.
Yep.
So I was already interested in figuring out how to lower outgoings, and that was the elephant in the room. So that got me going with the truck. Then my future goal is to have a tag trailer with a posi and a 5-ton. So therefore, going a bogey or a full-size tandem was where I needed to look. And then just finding the right truck for me that hit the right pricing, which was the Hinos. There was a few Macs, but a lot older, a lot more Ks.
Yeah.
Whereas I got a 2015, 2848, which is the 480 horse. It's a 50th anniversary with less Ks than my 500 had. So did that, locked in at 7% interest. So literally half my interest straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And given that I've got a few years in, I had a decent deposit. So my new finance is now less than my existing. So straight away, outgoings are down, much like a 9-year newer truck. And it's costing me less than what my, 2006, 500 was. And got onto the guy, got onto Alex, got onto his mechanic, got it checked, and booked a flight and went up and got it.
Far out. So you
and Alex picked me up. Alex Admiral Civil picked me up. In his Hino 700 from Penrith train station.
There you go.
Yeah. So I left my joint at like, I don't even know. Oh no, so I stayed at the airport the night before, so it was nice and close. Yeah. 4:30, shuttle to the airport, got on the plane, got on a train, got the truck, drove straight home, was home by midnight.
Oh, long day, long 2 days almost. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, I was lucky it wasn't too far to get to a freeway because I've only driven roadranger twice. So.
So yeah.
18-speed gearbox.
So it is
coming out of the driveway.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Oh man, the roadranger. So how'd you go with that roadranger? How'd you go getting moving with it?
Well, so Alex gave us a few pointers. Like showed us his gearbox. As we made our way to pick it up, which was awesome. Kind of calmed my nerves a bit. I mean, I'm a car enthusiast. Like, I love motors and gearbox. Like, I used to flat shift my bloody drift car, and a few people that know me know that I can, work my way around a turbo gearbox. So it was, I don't know. I just figured I'd figure it out, but definitely more difficult than I was expecting as far as going down gears.
Yeah.
Up gears after the first 5 minutes, fine. Not, no major crunching or anything, just getting used to it, feeling it out. But definitely struggled going down gears, like 100%.
100%, man. Yeah. I've got a story I can share with you if you want. I bought the same thing, man. I've never driven I never drove a roadranger, and the first truck I bought was a Mack CH 688. I think it was a 2000 or 99. I can't remember what year it was. Mack CH Elite. roadranger, and those clutches are like, I don't know if you've ever driven one, but the clutch is so hard. My leg used to start shaking after a couple of hours.
Yeah, like a brass button.
Yeah. Until I learned, until somebody told me one day, you don't have to always hold the clutch. You don't have to use the clutch all the time. The story goes, so I bought the Mac, and I had no idea the roadranger was going to be that hard to drive.
Yeah.
So I got in there assuming everything's all right, and my mate jumped in the truck with me. And I've never seen someone so embarrassed. He was hiding, putting his head down in the seat so no one could see us. I was crunching the gears. I couldn't work it out. I was ringing other mates, because this guy doesn't know how to drive trucks either. I was ringing other mates and asking them, what do I do? And they're explaining it on the phone to me while I'm trying to go. And then, of all places, I went up this place where it was all hilly. And every time I was going uphill, I'd lose gears, and then basically have to come to a stop and start again.
Yeah.
And
I actually had Nielsy from Slocum's.
Yeah.
He's been on. I've seen you mention his name a couple of times. He was kind enough to give us a buzz and ask how I was doing, and he was like, just getting your gears right. And he actually gave me a great tip with on an incline, because say I'm in 8 high or 7 high or whatever. If I'm gonna go to up a hill and prepare myself, I was struggling to drop a single gear. I was freaking out. But he's like, well, your wheel speed's gonna drop faster than you can slam the gears. So he said, go from 7 to 5.
Yeah.
As soon as he said that, straight away, it works so much easier.
Yeah.
So even something as simple as that was oh, okay, cool, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the struggle from my Hino 500 was only a 8-speed, so that was a H pattern 4-speed with a high-low, and knew the truck inside out. So and a much higher revving too. So that used to rev to at 100k an hour in 8th gear. That was 2450 RPM. And then you could blip down your gears, and you could go 2 gears, single gears, but you knew where it was.
Yeah.
Given 18, it's am I going to drop 1 gear and put it in high or low? Or, so I stopped trying to split down gears as well, and I'm just calmly going down a single, whatever. If I'm in 7 high, I'll drop down to 6 high and figure it out from there.
Yeah, same. And now, what about, are you using the clutch now, or not using the clutch when you're between gears?
No, not at all. No clutch going through up gears.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm under load, I might clutch it into neutral just so I'm not yanking it out of, tension.
Yeah.
So I might clutch it into neutral, but then just slot it straight into the next
Yeah.
gear. But yeah, no, I don't use the clutch going up at all, other than first. And like I had to use the air stopper for the flywheel or whatever the fuck it does.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even sure what that thing does. I just know push it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I use that to get going, and then I'm off and running floating gears going up, coming down on my clutch to get into neutral, and then selecting it from there. But again, it's all circumstance. So like if you're under load, maybe coming down a hill, probably clutching back into gear would be better than trying to find it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a expert big dog truckie that's been done 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah.
I've done like 30,000, so that's it.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people would be having the same issues. I didn't even know, man, for so long that you didn't need the clutch. So I was using the clutch for like over a year.
Yeah.
Until somebody said to me, like, you don't need to use a clutch. And I was like, why didn't anyone tell me? I even got an assistant thing put onto the clutch. You can put like a helping mechanism on.
Oh, like a air assist?
Yeah, like an assist thing. I don't know what it is. It's like my mechanic put it on for me. He was saying that it will make the clutch a bit easier. And it still was hard as, man. It used to kill me.
Man. Oh man, there's a whole episode there. Roadranger gearboxes.
That's the one, man. We'll do a gearbox episode there, exactly.
Yeah.
Who else? Okay. Who else on here, by the way, as well? Who else has got a roadranger? If anyone can tell us about that. Oh, here we go. Tilney's is saying it took a couple of months to get to the crash box dialed. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it takes a bit, man, to know how to drive it properly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think staying calm is the biggest thing. Like, don't get frazzled and try and force it. The second it if you feel a tooth grinding or just stop, because it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Just being calm. And like, I'm not afraid. Like, I'll pull over if I was fully loaded going up we've got a hill near where I live called White Hill Road.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew I had to go down there, I was like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
It was like, the first week of owning this thing.
Yeah.
And being fully loaded, it's a monster. Like, it's not massive grade, but it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But I managed to just, pull over, select a better gear, and then let a few cars pass, go again.
Yeah.
And I was running there all day. So by the end of the day, it actually took it in 7th gear low the whole way, which is like, I spoke to another friend about that. And he's like, bro, that's like a fair effort.
Yeah.
It went slow, don't get me wrong. I got down to like 45, 50k or something. It's an 80k road.
Yeah.
But just held it. I'd rather just hold the gear than trying to, fucking go down a gear on that hill.
Yeah.
If you start that up, it's going to stop instantly.
It is. Well, look, some of the guys are all saying the same thing. So like Sydney Rockwalls, even Blessos are saying it took a while to get used to it. And yeah, it is. It's true. Sydney Rockwalls is saying it's all about the revs. I actually stopped looking at the gauges and stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to just listen and then listen out and then just change by listening, because if you start looking at gauges, looking at things, it just becomes a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. And going from an 8-speed, I'd previously driven a 13 or a 15. It's an 8, but you can split the top 4.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, and then obviously I think it's a 13 speed.
Yeah.
So I'd previously driven one of those, but I guess coming from an 8-speed H pattern, it's still a H pattern, which is great, but your revs, like if you're splitting gears, it's like 300 RPM.
Yeah.
Whereas with mine, it was like maybe 800 RPM difference between, if you're doing 1,000, you might flip it up to 1,800 to catch a lot of gear. Whereas this is like, there's like, if you go 500 RPM, you could be in 3 different gears.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what was different for me. And again, like what you said, I just turn the radio off, just start listening and pay attention. Less phone calls when I'm driving.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So I've been on a phone once or twice and, had the ear pod in and got a bit distracted and missed the gear, and I'm just like, I've got to go, hang up, you know.
Yeah. I remember there was a tip site, if anyone's been to it, it's Sinclair's tip site down in Keilor, and it's amongst these little steep hills. And if you're coming in the back way, so you're coming in from like Green Gully Road, and you come down and you start going, as you come up the hill, you can turn right into the tip. But then there's cars coming down the opposite way. So I remember going up the hill, I used to always try and time it so that there's no cars coming down the hill, because if I'm going uphill and there's cars coming down and I have to stop for them, it's like I'm going to stop and start all from scratch again. So I'd be like trying to time it and creep up the hill.
Yeah, definitely.
Painful, man, painful. So I don't miss the Road Ranger, but you know what? Same thing. Once you know how to do it, it becomes like second nature. You just change.
It's something I always wanted to do as well. You know, like it's, you know, as a kid, you're like, oh, you know, Road Ranger, big dog. You know, like you want to give it a go.
Yeah. Put the air brakes. The air brakes on. The Jake brake. Whoa!
Yeah. I mean, it's the 2015, so it's got all the bloody emission stuff on it.
It's quiet. It's too quiet.
It's quiet. It just sounds like a fart. You know, like,
just chop the exhaust. Yeah,
I wish it sounded nice. You know, but it'll be a reliable truck. So I'm happy as hell with it.
Oh, good.
And you know, and the use of this podcast definitely helped me in that journey, because. You know, if I didn't know Alex, I wouldn't have found the mechanic, and that dead set, that making that call was the only reason why the guy was willing to wait the time. Because it took me a couple of weeks, you know, finances are never instant. Yeah. I did have a great deposit and all those things, and I kept telling the guy, like, I'll give you a deposit, I'll pay you cash, whatever. Yeah. But he was nice enough to not ask for it until we were kind of...
You're saying that basically because he knew you were serious, by getting the mechanic out there. And that
I was the only person that had contacted him and organised the mechanic to look at the truck.
It does. It shows that you're serious. Yeah, exact same. Yeah. And ADM, Alex is saying happy to help. So that's good. Very good.
No, great.
Yeah. And I know, sorry, going back to Jack Healy's message, that Greenvale Hotel, that's the one where you come down that steep hill. It's very, very steep, So no, it's good, and I'm happy that you were able to get something out of being on here as well. So that's good. That's really good.
I mean, I'm like long-winded story, but you know, the whole purpose of getting the truck is I've dropped my interest rate by literally 50%. And my outgoings are less than what they were with the older truck. And now that should, you know, touch wood, be the last truck I need to buy. That can then tow a trailer and take the 5-tonne and a posse and not stretch its capabilities. You know? Yeah,
and you're going down. It's part of going down that path now. So it's leading you to the next thing that you want to do. So that's good.
And so now I'm on the lookout for a trailer, because the 5-tonne doesn't quite fit in it very good. So.
Oh no! What size is it? Is it a 4.3 length?
4.5 long. It's a full 10 cube bin. Like big high-sided bin, but the internal hydraulic wheel hoist well. Yeah. So I had to call Ian Huntington from ML Excavations. Again, you know, all through socials, all these contacts. Like, Ian, like, how do you get this 5-tonner? You've got the same setup, 5-tonner and a Hino 700. Yeah. I'm like, how do you do it? And then he's like, oh, it fits. You should be right. Yeah. But the tip that I missed was he sits his one track on a bit of form ply. And that gives the Digga body clearance to get the track, the ramp underneath.
Oh, yes.
You're talking 10 mil. That's it.
Yeah, because they don't fit otherwise underneath. That's right.
Yeah. Unless your tracks are like brand new, maybe. Yeah. But the little bolts on the underside of the undercarriage. Yeah. When you sit one ramp underneath, that's fine. I've got 7.5 tonne rated ramp, so they're a bit wider, a bit chunkier.
That's right, yeah.
And it won't go down the side unless it's sitting on that form ply. Yeah. So
because I used to put one down the centre and then one sideways but you'd have to have the machine right up against the wall. Yeah. And it would always get stuck on the rubber track trying to pull it back out. I used to kill myself. And then I got this Then I got 5.5 ton or 6 ton ramps, which were a bit smaller, and then I could put both in. But that's good, man.
Did you fit both in underneath?
Yeah, only because they were smaller. Yeah,
it's 40 mil. And I thought I've spoken to a few people. I'm like, can I just shave 10 mil off both sides, get the 40 mil, and just slide it in? But you lose the structural. That's how they are 7.5 ton rate.
Yeah. I never thought about that. So there you go, guys. Yeah. So if you put like some wood underneath your tracks, it lifts it a bit higher.
Yeah.
So we're talking about. So if you want to load your 5 tonner or even your posi track, if you want to load them up into the tipper, put some plywood or something under your tracks, it'll raise it off the floor, so that way you can fit your ramps in underneath the machine. That's actually really handy. I never thought about that.
Yeah, and it instantly changed. So now I've just got like a 300 wide bit of form ply, and obviously you know where that track's going to sit. You don't want it to hang past the track. That was another thing. Like if you drive up onto it and it's sitting between the track and the body, the ramp will hit it. So you won't be able to do it. So just, sit it on top of that, and that gives you the clearance to slide the ramp straight underneath, and happy days. It's still super tight, but it's so much more doable.
And what about, do you just slew the arm all sort of most of the way in and then curl it in and just dump it inside the body?
Yeah, so from my awareness, and again, limited knowledge, I could be wrong, but I think the Kobelco 5.5 is like the biggest size in its weight class for, it's not a true zero swing. It does have 190 mil of overhang when you kick it off to the side. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
So when it's sitting square, it obviously sits inside the tracks. But when you start slewing it around, I'm pretty sure it's 190 mil. And you really need to hug the side, do the whole thing with the ramp, but I can't get the arm far enough inside the tailgate, so I have to detach my buckets, close the door, and then just stick the arm wherever it'll fit.
Yeah, and just be careful. What I used to do sometimes, I used to do that too with my 5.5 Kubota. Sometimes I'd put it down and it would sort of it would slowly overnight sink. It would creep down, and then the chrome part of the ram would sit up on the tailgate, and then it would scratch, and you had to be really careful.
Yeah, definitely. And also your height. Make sure it's a full size tandem with a 5 ton in the back. Like the first time I did it, and the very first time, like drove the truck from Sydney home, got home before midnight Saturday night. Sunday kind of caught up on some sleep, and then Monday I went to work and used it and picked the Digga up for the first time, and I was lucky that I checked the height because I was wary of that, so I was a bit kind of cautious on how far I stuck it down, and I was over 4.2, so and it didn't look ridiculous, but going from a Hino 500 to a 7, much higher off the ground, and it sat at like 4.3. I've got it now where with the tilt hitch as well, like so when the buckets are unhooked, I can kick the tilt hitch to 90 and it'll sit on my bucket so it won't sag.
That's it.
It puts me lower, so I'm down to like 4 meters.
I used to do, that's exactly how I did it. Yeah, same. And then it get you under the 4.1. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then it can't creep either, like it's stuck on the buckets.
No, that's good, man. It's funny. We all do similar things. Yeah, I had on the Mac that I had the shorter body. That was a real pain, man. That was so hard. And I actually smashed a window on one of my brand new Kubotas. I just bought it, put it inside, had the buckets leaning right up against the window, and then overnight they creeped down, and the actual teeth of the mud bucket held all the smaller buckets in it.
Yeah.
And then like either the 300 or the 600 the teeth were resting on the window of the door. And then when it crept, I didn't know. I just got in the truck in the morning, drove. And then when I got to the site, the window was smashed. And then and I couldn't open the door because the bucket was leaning up against the door and I was killing myself. That was such a pain to get in there.
Yeah.
So, and then I had to, in the end, the only way I could do things was I had to always leave the sliding window unlatched, so that when I get to site, I'd have to open that, climb through every time to get in. It was
the
a
things we do, eh?
it was a pain, man. Pain.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, again, like I've always wanted the trailer, but it's quite difficult to pull the trigger on a trailer because of the cost factor. Like, you're not really going to earn money with it.
Yeah.
You might save some time unloading and loading, but
Yeah.
it's more of a I don't want to do it anymore. It's just
That's
56 kilo ramps and throwing in and out. Oh.
That's why I got rid of my 7.5. I think they were 7.5 or 8 ton ramps, the fat ones. I got rid of those and got the 6 ton ones. And then, but even with that, I got sick of opening the tailgate and taking the ramps out. So I bought the tag trailer, single axle.
Yeah.
And then had the posi in the 5. I used to swap around, but mainly the posi in the tandem, 5 on the trailer.
Yeah.
But I still used to have to open the tailgate, slide out the ramps to get across to the tag, and then come down onto the tag and come down. But it wasn't like you're taking them off completely off the truck, which wasn't too bad, you know.
Yeah. I'm just feeling it, you know. Like I can't see me doing that for another 5 years, that's for sure. So and then given that the 5 tonner doesn't fit comfortably, I've already put a scratch on it by backing into the bloody hoist well, and that pissed me off. So
and then when you turn as well, it scratches all the bottom of the tail. You'll see what happened to you on the well. I know.
I'm hoping it won't.
I know it will. It will.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'll give it a touch up over Christmas and fix it all up and make it nice again. But for now, I'm just like, just get through the end of the year, try and hunt down a tag trailer, and go from there. And then the next step, I guess, in my journey for that is like knowing I want to get a posi. Do you go single axle or do you go a tandem axle? I don't want to try.
Yeah.
Because I'm not interested in going higher with my tonnage on my excavator. Like, if anything, a 13 would max me out with my interests. But yeah, so now it's like, do you spend the money on a single? Do you spend a bit extra on a tandem?
Yeah.
And then there's some rippers for sale too, but there's like a sick UPT, but it's in Tassie, you know?
Yeah.
And then you've got to start weighing up cost of getting it. How many days is that going to cost? Getting your truck over there? Are you freighting it? Are you driving it yourself?
Oh, look, and bless those are saying there are some cheap ones out there. Jack Healy did say what I was about to say. He's saying just don't forget as well, it makes it longer as well, yeah? So then you got issues about where you're going to park. So you can't just park anywhere anymore. You got to look for the longer nature strips, which nowadays are getting shorter in the newer states. And then you've got courts. You're nothing worse than when you drive into a little court or a cul-de-sac, and then you're like, shit, how do I get out of here now?
100%. I'm lucky enough that I did, when I worked for a particular company, I was driving a Hino 700 with a tag trailer most days. And definitely night before going to work, you were looking up the address, is there a dead end? Can I turn around? Like, am I reversing the whole way down? Am I... every night was like a bit of a reconnaissance mission to make sure that didn't happen. I think I pulled into one street. It might have been off like Turak Road once or something. Cars up my arse, trams or something, and I'm just like nosed in, saw straight away there was no way I was getting through there. Sure enough, I had to back out with a trailer.
It happens, man. It happens. And Gariffa Earthworks is saying he'd never go without a tag. There you go. That's it. All right. So, no, that's good, man. Look, that's the next step anyway. For now, you've got your new tandem. Enjoy that for a bit. I lasted with a tandem for many years, man. It's only in the last maybe a year and a half or 2 years of having all the machines and that's when I bought the tag. And it was good. It was good to have it. I probably would, if I was going to go back and get another tag, just say even if it was a single axle, I would I would have it with the ramps attached to the end of it, the one so that when you open your tandem tailgate, you can just drop the ramps down. Yeah, that's one thing I'd probably change. I'd probably get those.
For sure.
So they're always attached, and you don't have to worry about ramps in the truck anymore.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd probably do, and then make sure that you've got room to put like drills and stuff as well, like if you want to have augers. So
definitely.
So there's a few options there for that, but then you got to be careful that you don't start putting in too much weight because then the single axle can't really hold it all.
Yeah. Well, the single axle, like I think the gross mass on that was 32 ton.
Yeah.
So like it could technically do it on paper, like maybe a 3.5 ton digger, posi with a 5 ton digger and like a 3 ton trailer maybe. But even then, like you're just gonna strain it. Like sure I can do it, but do you really want to be doing 40 up a freeway, incline or something? Like no.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? When I got mine, I got a tag along one. And when he built it for me, he said that he builds it the same for the 13.5 ton and the 9 ton. And I just got mine as a 9 ton one because I only had a HR license.
Sure.
So I said, just comply it as a 9 tonner. Yeah. But it can actually hold up to 13.5. So.
And I think, is it just like a suspension upgrade or like an axle or something? No, it's brake. It's got something to do with the brakes.
Yes.
Like electronic braking versus air or whatever.
Yeah.
Electronic assist.
But look, a lot of guys here are saying go for the dual axle. Jack Healy's saying he's got the ramps that fold flat onto the deck when you're not using them. Ah, okay. That's pretty good. So he's got the ones that go into the actual. They fold flat. That's right. So there's probably like imprints in the top of the deck, and then when they're not being used, they fold back into the deck.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's
I've
good.
seen something like FWR. Is it? I think some of those and UPT and stuff obviously have some options where you can have them like slide in and out underneath the headboard.
Yeah.
But you're talking pretty big dollar. For the newer ones that have that kind of stuff going on. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea though, what Jack's got, because the only thing is when you have the ramps that I wanted to have, which are permanently attached, is that if you do want to have augers and stuff or have an auger rack there, it's going to have to be a rack that can actually like pivot and swing out of the way when you do want to go in and out of the truck. Sure. So there's a lot of things that it does stop. Whereas if you've got the one he's got and it drops down, they drop into the deck, and then that way it's flat. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, good. There you go. Options, man. Options.
Yeah. Oh. Send me pictures.
Yeah, that's it, man. If anyone has a setup of their trailer, please forward it over to Shane from Terrapro and give him some ideas. But I don't know how far away you are from that. But anyway, you can always start researching out.
It's doable, like it's not. I was hoping to do it probably like first or second quarter next year. But given that it's a bit tight and I don't like having scratches on my machine. I'm like, maybe I've actually put out the feelers to a few people that might have one laying around that I could possibly rent, give them some money monthly or weekly, just until I kind of figure it out. But trying to minimize my overheads was the goal of the truck, and why I was looking, but I do have room to wiggle, I guess. it just put me back to exactly where I was, but I would have the better truck and
so. And it will be, like you say, be better on your back and all if you don't have to lift, ramps and stuff. Although you will probably still have to do them if you're going to have no permanent ramps. You're going to have to still move yours. Garefa is saying, does anyone know how to downgrade a trailer back to 9 ton? Yeah, that's if you talk to the guys at Tag Along in Ballarat, they'll be able to help you because that's what they did for mine. Well, mine was a brand new build, so he built it and tagged it as a 9 tonner. But he did tell me that they can do all that. So try Tag Along.
Definitely. Whoever made the, I can't see any of the comments. Mine's like frozen, but.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's if you've got, I just went through some hell with the compliance plate on my Hino 500. But if you've got the manufacturer, definitely hit them up because I think the 13-ton rated singles is purely just electronic braking, and they should be able to swap you over a compliance plate if they're still in business. Yeah,
that's it. All right. I really want to say thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with the truck, and I wish you all the best with that new truck. And if you do decide to get a trailer, good luck with that as well.
Awesome.
And thank you to Alex as well from ADM and Alex from whether it's On Top or On Point for helping Shane out.
Both of those good guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good luck to those guys with their new truck as well. And once again, guys, make sure that you're checking out and that you are actually going on and listing your businesses on Earthworks Hub. So the prices have changed a little bit on the website. So if you go on there, it used to be like $15 a year to list your business. Now it's $29, so it's only a little bit more. Still only a few coffees, not much. Yeah, still a bargain. I've created a new option on there for anyone that wants to go a little bit, a little bit all out. There's a new option now where you can actually get featured on the front page as well. So on the front page, under where the search banner is for businesses, there's a featured listings section, and it's going to have people that want to pay a little bit extra. They can actually get their business featured on the front page, and it rotates the businesses on there through the front page. So if you're keen on that, go to add listing, and it will give you all the details on that. It's called feature premium listing, something like that. And that's so that's on there and available now. So a couple of guys have already jumped on. So thanks to those people. So yeah, go www.earthworkshub.com.au. Check out the new listings in that as well. And you see I've made a couple of little changes on the page. It looks good. It looks really good now. I like it. So I'm always adjusting the page, man. Always doing something.
Yeah, nice.
And also check out the new podcast from HPT. So Harry from HPT Excavations. We talked about pools. So I only released that today, so that's fresh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all he does mainly is dig pools and demos pools. So he also backfills them. But we talked about all the process of digging a swimming pool, how to backfill them as well, and like the different types, fiberglass, concrete. And he talked about employees and that, and issues that he had, and reasons why he actually downsized and went back to being on his own. So that's a good listen to anyone that's running their own business as well.
Yeah, I got up to, I think, 51. So yeah, definitely congrats on the 10,000 listeners and the 50 episodes.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I was listening to one this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm up to, I think I maybe just started at episode 52. So
that's it, man. Good. Yeah, good. Keep listening, man. There's and it keeps improving. There's more and more listeners coming all the time. So it's working. It's working. It's getting out there. I also attended the Case. I went to a site tour. So I don't know if you saw that, but I went to Case. So I met Nick and the boys at the Case Dig Day, and they said, come down to the site and have a look at our site. So I came to Truganina, went to their dealership, did a bit of a walk around. So that video is out now as well. So yeah, it was good to go and see all the Case machines on their site. Keep your eyes peeled. There's probably more stuff to come with that. And what else? I also did an interview with Paul Brown from Encon the other day. So so that came out. So that's really good. And what else did I do this week? Oh, I've done a million things. Oh, I did a review of my new little wireless microphones from Telesin.
Yeah.
And not a review. I just got them. So now I'm going to actually try them out this week, and I'll do a bit of a review on how they go. So it's good, man. That's it, man. Field testing. So hopefully they'll be right, because I've got another brand of wireless microphone. So trying these out up against those would be good to see the difference.
Awesome, man. I hope it goes well.
That's it, man. Thank you. All right. So to anyone that hasn't subscribed or followed me on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, I don't know what else, Instagram, make sure you go on, share the shit out of it, follow, subscribe, like, all that jazz. Make sure that you're following, get merch, like I said before. Thank you very much for that too, Shane, by the way.
You're welcome, mate. Thank you. Yeah, and the t-shirt was a bit of a hit. There was definitely a few people looking at me trying to figure out if I was like some form of like racing guy or like at a restaurant. You know, they're all like, "What is that going on?"
What's he doing? No, I appreciate that post as well for the dinner suit. I really appreciate it.
No, you're right, mate.
That's it. All right. Well, yeah. Once again, thanks for coming on. And look, it won't be the last time, so I'm sure you're going to be on again. But thank you. Thanks again, man.
Anytime. Yeah, I highly recommend a yearly audit if you're in business and you can figure out a way to save some money. Next, I'll be doing my insurances. There you go.
That is a good topic. Let's do that one, man. So if you guys are keen, we can do a topic on reviewing your insurances and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Insurance brokers, any of you guys listening, definitely hit up Ivan and get on and have a chat. Maybe that could be a good episode on. It's all very daunting, the insurance. You don't really know what you're getting. Like you're trying to get it all packaged, and just having GPS lower my premiums and tracking and remote stopping, and does anything help. You know?
Exactly right. That is true because we've had network finance. So Robbie explained all the finance part, but it'd be good to get an insurance person on. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. If any insurance people, yeah, definitely jump on and have a chat with us.
Awesome.
All right, guys. I won't keep you anymore. I wish everyone the best for the rest of this week, and I will see you all on the next episode. Take care, guys.